Every sport has its big event. Every sport has its premier event, the one you want to win.
Oh, I won the Daytona 500. I won the Daytona 500.
This is our premier event. When it's all said and done, that Daytona 500 trophy will be the one you look at the most and remember the most.
If you're fortunate enough to sit on the pole for the Daytona 500, it is a big, big deal.
Jimmy Johnson, your Sprint Cup champion.
Hey, that Levin car is bad fast. He's my man.
It's the defending champion of the Daytona 500.
He has rewritten the record books all the way up to now.
NASCAR's most popular driver, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And that 14 car looks good.
Daytona 500 pole qualifying on Fox.
Glad you're joining us. NASCAR on Fox, and proud to present Daytona 500 pole qualifying from Daytona International Speedway.
Good story.
Big Daddy among those yet to qualify. Thanks, Krista. Don't make any old age jokes about Jeff Gordon. Yes, he's sponsored by the AARP. You get the solicitations in the mail if you're 50 or older, but he is ready to race and ready to win. Another championship this year. Last year, 9th in the standings. His 16th top 10 performance in the last 17 years, but he was in contention to win 4 races this year. He has a new crew chief this season, and he has what I believe is the longest tenure driving the same car of any driver here at Daytona. He's been behind the wheel of Rick Hendrick's number 24 here since 1993.
I believe he's fixing to lay us down a pretty good first lap in his 24 car, it looks like. 48.91, and that's on lap 1, Darrell.
It's a good lap right
What
there.
a lap.
That lap is the 11th fastest lap of the day, and it's only his first lap.
You know, funny quick story. Of course, we know he got into the scuffle with Jeff Burton at the Texas race.
He likes it. He
does like
it.
that. But when he got home that night late, his daughter Ella, 3 years old, looked at him and said, "Papa, were you wrestling with another man today?" He said, "Yeah, and Papa shouldn't have been doing that, but I was a little upset."
Here he comes, and this, by more than 1/10 of a second, could take the pole away from Paul Menard.
Here, water 240.
Jeff Gordon
Good job, guys.
looking for his second Daytona 500 pole. He's on top. 48.396.
Stout.
More than 1/10 of a second past her.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'd say so.
So good.
Really stout.
They're awesome. Well,
Big Daddy is a happy guy. Jeff Gordon vaults to the pole. Jeff Gordon has just taken the pole from Paul Menard. Those two Chevys currently hold the front row. New crew chief Alan Gustafson and Jeff celebrating what was a tremendous run. 14/100s quicker than Menard.
Guess who had what crew chief had the pole last year here?
Alan Gustafson with Mark Martin. Dick?
Hey, Jeff Gordon, brand new crew chief, a very fast car. You guys are clicking or what?
Things are clicking. You know, I'm so proud of these guys. I mean, I know everybody talks about how hard you work, but these guys just pay so much attention to detail, and that's why they've been on the front row here the last couple of years. I just get the pleasure of driving it, and really excited about this entire season and the Drive to End Hunger Chevrolet. So
You're going to win the Daytona 500 to start it off?
well, we saw last night, you can't predict what's going to happen in this kind of draft session, and it's going to be interesting, but boy, it sure does make it nice to have a good starting position, and I hope we can maintain one here.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Nice run.
And having a new crew chief won't slow you down. 4 of the last 5 Daytona 500 winners had a new crew chief from the previous season.
Usually it's a $6,400 question, but you know, with cutbacks, the economy.
Exactly right. I'm a little bit on the cheap side.
Let's rejoin Darrell, Larry, and Mike.
Now, if I understand the change at Hendrick's right over
Yes.
at Rick over at Hendrick Motorsports, the 88 car is the 24 car.
It's
24
last year's
car-
24 car and crew with new numbers on it.
Right. And the 24 car is the 5 car.
Was the 5 car and
Last
crew.
year.
Alan Gustafson and his cars and his crew. Yes.
Because all they did is change drivers. They didn't change cars or equipment. They changed drivers.
Essentially, yes.
And put different drivers in different situations.
Yeah, in simple terms, those 3 drivers, their seats, their spotter, their sponsor, and their number moved to a different race team.
and with Jeff Gordon. And what does it say about Hendrick Motorsports to see that 88 and the 24 on the pylon right behind you?
Oh, that's awesome. You know, really excited about all the effort that is, you know, being put out for Daytona. This is a very special race, and it means a lot to Rick. It means a lot to all the people, all the Hendrick employees, and certainly excited for these two teams, and very excited about what we're doing with the Drive to End Hunger. And if you go to drivetoendhunger.org, we've got a food drive going on right now in Central Florida, and if you want to learn more, go there, because just loving all the support that we're already getting, and we're going to help a lot of people out.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
And when I look at that front row, when you just think about those two drivers, they've each only won one race in the last 3 years. And here they are with new race teams, the new guys around them. And I'm sure both of them would love to start 2011 by winning the Great American Race, the Daytona 500.
Absolutely. Now, all we know today is who will be on the front row. Everything else will be settled on Thursday during the Gatorade Dual races, 150 miles each. The Daytona 500 will be Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s 400th career Sprint Cup start. Look at the drivers who have won the pole in their 400th start. They're all Hall of Famers. Lee Petty, Richard Petty, the sports all-time winner. David Pearson, second all-time. Rusty Wallace, the '89 champion. And two-time champion Tony Stewart. All won the pole for their 400th start. So it's a safe bet that the drivers who know today that they will make the race from the go or go home group will be Bill Elliott, Travis Kvapil, Joe Nemechek, one of the 43 starting spots, and the only drivers who know where they'll start next Sunday are Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jeff Gordon. Earnhardt has his 10th Sprint Cup pole in his 400th start and his first Daytona 500 pole. More from Daytona after this.
And Junior, of course, Jeff Gordon on the front row. His family taking in the moment here. Can you imagine Jeff Hammond 10 years from the day Dale Earnhardt lost his life at Daytona?
It's probably set better than it's ever been set before.
It's the biggest race you can win, and of course NASCAR's rule, it's putting more of a priority on winning early before you even get to the chase. At noon Eastern, the pre-race show brought to you by Pizza Hut. Among the stories we'll look back on Dale Earnhardt. We'll talk about the latest news from the drivers and who can stop the five-time champ, Athlete of the Year a couple of years ago, Jimmy Johnson. More on the track here at Daytona as well. Nearly 75% of the drivers who start in the top 10 have gone on to win the Daytona 500. That's good news for Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt Jr. For Darrell Larry.